Over to you, Jeffrey Bukola.
I'm sure that you have more, interesting feedback to bring from the partial Christmas that you celebrated in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, yesterday. And you have first-hand experience. You were up close with the governor, and you heard all of the back and forth, or the explanation from his own side to the PDP conflict. So we're just going to leave you to fill us in with all the Ibadan gist.
The Ibadan gist.
Go ahead, Kayode.
I remember when the president was in Abeokuta, when he made that Emilokon pronouncement, almost like the governor of Oyo State also did his own Ibadan pronouncement, because he shook a lot of tables. I mean, we knew some of these things, but not a lot of Nigerians also knew it, were privy to it, because most of those meetings were private. Yes, the FCT minister had said he was going to support the president. He didn't hide it. But, getting all of the context, all of the extra details, how it happened blow by blow, is what a lot of people are now saying, oh, wow, all of that happened. So first off, just accept in life that you will not be in all those rooms that decisions are made that will affect you. That is something first you must accept. And that's why we must ensure that the right people who will represent you will be in those rooms. So whatever decisions are made, whatever agreements are made, at least reflects the majority of people's desires. But guys, it's like the gloves are off, the knives are out, and this is just barely December 2025. So imagine how long 2026 will be up until 2027. One thing is clear, and I think that's the takeaway for a lot of Nigerians, or should be the takeaway. Nigerians must take their destiny in their own hands. I know the governor had said the voters will shock Nigerians, but the big question is, really, would Nigerians or the voters really shock the politicians and vote for what they believe is right? That is really the takeaway for me. They can go back and forth, but the ball is in Nigerian's court.
At the end of the day, me, I'm more about strengthening the institutions that conduct whatever elections, INEC. I have never ever had a quarrel with how politicians conduct themselves. Some conduct themselves responsibly, others conduct themselves irresponsibly, others try to, subvert the system, if you will. Some undermine the system. I just feel, unfortunately, there's this acceptance in me to say this is who they are. It may not be all of them. So it's just like the law envisages that people will be criminals, and it provides for, actions to curb criminality and all of that. So that is the way I see this thing. So I just look at the words of politicians. Well, some of us knew these things before it happened, but now you're getting a broader context. And sometimes you even ask yourself, because I remember when Kayode asked the question, are you going to run for president? He was evasive, with great respect to the governor. He wasn't very clear with his answer, so that tells you something is in the offing. But the activities of the Honorable Minister out there sitting here some week, I think it's not been hidden. It's just that now we have now known that he made, allegedly, an unsolicited commitment to the president. Say, I will hold this PDP for you. So part of holding the PDP is what he's doing today. So you can see his groups or his own faction of the PDP. I've never seen them hold this government to account. So they are holding the PDP.
Indeed,
Have you ever seen a press statement from the Abdurrahman or Samayamu group holding the government of Bola Tinubu accountable?
Well, they have been held. So they cannot hold the government.
They don't even have a publicity secretary, to the best of my knowledge. So it clearly tells you. But again, you must also ask, is Makinde really working for the PDP or working for himself? Or this is another game in itself? Because these guys are smarter than you think.
Absolutely.
If you think politicians don't know what you're doing, then you're the one that's being played. So your own is to look in between the line and know, make it. We've seen politicians make promises, call people names, and then later say, oh, it was all politics. Firemi, the former governor of Ekiti State, said, when we fought against Jonathan during subsidy, we knew he was right. Oh, really? Our friend Reno Mokri said the president was a drug lord. Oh, he's sorry. Oh, he's... So I can go on and on.
Now the president is Christ-like.
So when the president went from drug lord to Christ-like, we can go on and on. So, as Kayode said, Bukola, the decision is yours, so sieve in between. But the worry for us is that let's have, whether it's for optics or whatever, let's just have an opposition. Because what has happened with the politics right now, okay, if you don't want to vote for the APC, what are you going to vote for at the end of the day? If the other political parties, you need stability before growth. And if every other political party is unstable, then where's a recipe for anarchy? But me, I'm only happy that Nigeria won yesterday.
Well, you guys have said it all. What more can I add but to let you guys know that, look, my certificate of $1 million that I earned in 2001, I brought it with me today. Kade and Jeffrey.
We didn't want to go there.
It is here somewhere in my phone. I'm going to forward it to you on WhatsApp. It's between the three of us. I don't have to share. I don't have to share. So, you know, you were probably, Kade, where were you at that time? You were probably finishing up psychology at the University of Ibadan.
Towards my own $1
Jeffrey,
million
you don't know my age, you.
No, at least I know I was in secondary school when Sheyi Makinde made $1 million.
But beyond
in my city, by the way, he made it in my city of Port Harcourt.
In your city, right?
And I was just there looking.
And it was a representation of what we should see between the lines to tell us that that interview was strategic, it was premeditated, and it was prepared. From where I see it, I don't know what you saw, Kayode, in response to you know, what has seemed to be the rivalry, the division, and the crisis that has dogged the People's Democratic Party in the last 1 year. Of course, the crisis predates the last 1 year, but what we have seen, you know, between the two factions. Now, is this an expression of individuality from the Oyo State governor? Is it a confidence, you know, that we may not know particularly the source of it, you know, to want to take on the All Progressives Congress that now has about 27 governors and counting? Or is it a confidence reposed in political capital, and that may be financial or a very healthy grassroots base, you know, to challenge the ruling party in 2027? The answer is somewhere in that mix, but they also have a lot of obstacles, you know, ahead of them, with just about 3 governors left and a very, very dismal number of representation at the National Assembly. How are they going to take on the ruling All Progressives Congress in 2027? If the governor says, I have a lot of what was it again that he said yesterday? I have the right to look at the political space and express myself. That tells us what the intention is in 2027. And that's, you know, to ask, is that the only reason that is holding a fort for a party, you know, which has its umbrella almost completely torn to shreds? Or is it going to use it to negotiate, as some people have already been analyzing ahead of 2027? Those are very critical questions that we should ask, especially also about the altruism in the governor's approach to these things, you know, this division in the All Progressives Congress. Where is the interest of the people there? You know, so we should ask all these questions and look forward to what will happen in 2027. But already we can tell that it's going to be a very interesting political space with this confirmation that what's been happening in the other PDP house is, you know, the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob, if you like, the hand of the FCT minister for President Tinubu.
You know me, I don't like mincing words. Nyesom Ezenwo Wike is working for Bola Tinubu in 2027. He has not hidden that. Clearly. So we have just seen maybe backroom conversations or what has happened. What happens from now is another matter altogether. Politicians are unpredictable. But me, I'm waiting for a press statement from his group holding this government to account, even if it's artificial. Let them start.
And for the benefit of people who may have missed this, let's take a listen to what the governor of Oyo State, Sheyi Makinde, said, part of what he said yesterday, and we'll bring you some more big stories.
I don't like talking about people, and I will not talk about people or talk about events, but I'll talk about the real issue. The real issue is that Wike would like to support the president for 2027. That's fine. It is within his right to do that. But also some of us that want to, you know, ensure that democracy survives in Nigeria. We don't drift into a one-party state, and we want to ensure that PDP survives. It should also allow us to do our own thing. That is just the issue between me and Wike. And I confided in a mutual friend. So when I was telling our mutual friend, I said, look, maybe he was talking about an errand that the president never sent him. So let's watch, let's engage him. Let's see if he will back off. But he never did. So after he didn't back off, I said, well, now it's time to confront him. Because I told him from that day that I will never be a part of this. And that is why I will not be supporting the president for 2027. Wike can support him, he's within his right, but also it is within my own right to decide within the political space who I will support or what I will do in 2027.
Let's speak to the real issue. Are you then planning to take the bull by the horn, run for president in 2027?
Thank you, Kennedy. Well, I've heard that also, you know, people saying, oh, is Sheyi trying to position himself for 2027 presidency? Let me make this very clear. To serve this country at the highest level, I am qualified. I'm even overqualified. I've run...
So that was his response. He's overqualified, and he went on to talk about his antecedents, really. But I think what is grabbing headlines is also the framed purchasing order from when he was 29 years old of $1 million. If anything, they should encourage a lot of young Nigerians, really, that, hey, don't think that tomorrow you have leaders of tomorrow. Yes, you are. It will happen tomorrow. But today, what are you doing as well? Because for a lot of these people, guys, they got into leadership positions or they started making it in court from a very early age. A 29-year-old now is probably still 7, still trying to get a job. But then it was quite different. I think that is what we should try to replicate for other young people. So they can also say, when I was 25, I actually made this. I was able to build a career. Not when I was 25, I had just finished school. I've been trekking back and forth with my envelope trying to get a job. So that's my own takeaway as well.
I think that for everyone who is, say, 57 to 65 and above, who is serving in public office, they can see now that they're not doing enough to help young people. When they were young, I remember Atedo Peter side, who said they started banking as bankers, people like Tony Lumelu, very young age, when they took risks, people like, God bless his soul, Herbert Wigwe, how old were they? Very young boys, literally. So he is within that class, because the Nigerian system then was not rigged against young people. Now the system is rigged against young people. And it's just so sad that the persons who Nigeria provided the avenue for them to ventilate their thoughts, contribute to community, build society, employ people, are now the ones blocking the right of passage or right of way to the young people. So that's why young people are resorted to where they are not rigged against: music, entertainment, forex, all of these things. Because every other space, the old men, how old is Bola Tinubu, the president? By the time, how old is Atiku Abubakar? How old is Peter Obi? How old is... So I can go on and on. When they were younger, the system was so... It wasn't perfect, but it worked such that it wasn't rigged against them. Now they have built a system that is rigged against young people. So, anyway, that's just my take on that.
You have a very, valid point there, about the system being rigged against the young persons. But Kadi also has a point about, the evidence of the youth, at that stage in the life of the former governor. And that's why young persons... the current governor, and that's why young persons, must identify the leadership table. We say at a certain leadership fellowship that I attended that the leadership table is always vacant. You just must identify the space that is there, for you to express yourself. And so, for a lot of them at their age, they identified enterprise, and they took it up. But another significant point is that when you identify some of our nationalists and some of the current political elite, the political space, there was a lot of vacancies for them in the political space at the time, that they, were assuming ages of accountability and adulthood. And they identified it early enough, and they took up the challenge. A lot of young persons now are, will not necessarily want to readily take up politics as a form of expression because they think that, you know, it's a very, you know, compromised space. It's going to be a stain on, you know, the integrity that they supposedly, you know, want to adopt as persons, as professionals. But the space is also there, you know, for an expression of integrity, you know, such that there is reformation where people who would rather toe the path of honesty and public service, you know, with the enterprise and with the honesty and loyalty to nationhood. The space is also there for the young persons as well, you know, and whatever it takes, as far as it is honest, as far as it's, you know, a path of integrity, the space is also there for them to take it up as well. So young persons must not continue to lament and talk about how the space is rigged against them, how, you know, it is expensive, you know, to participate in the political space. If the young persons come together, then of course they can rally around one person, and, you know, there will be youthful representation in that space as well. Guys.
I just don't want us to forget that Nigeria won yesterday against Tanzania.
We've heard.
Okay, go ahead,
I'm saying it the second time.
This one belongs to you.
So Jeffrey, fill us in. We won.
Yes, we won. That's very important. 2-1 against Tanzania. That's a good start. Yeah, we may not have given all the bites we needed to have given, but at least we won. We're in second position. I think Tunisia leads, so at least we're in the safe place. We have our 3 points in our pockets, and so we're hoping that we build on this and get better. So let's not forget that this is the place where we all seem to agree. Even bandits don't find trouble. Let's use the pidgin English. They find trouble on the match. They don't look for them. Everybody is watching the match. So nobody, I don't think anybody was harassed, or maybe except those who were in traffic, who were caught up in the Lokoja. But anyway, that's jokes apart. I'm just saying I'm happy that there is something to celebrate about. Just a day before Christmas or 2 days before Christmas, we have what to cheer and use to celebrate. In case you don't have food, just remember that. And
there's no divide here. There's no, Christian. No. There's no Muslim.
This one, in fact, this is the
some
table
people
where
may have temporarily forgotten that they were hungry, as at the time Nigeria won yesterday.
Yeah, so congratulations
and
to the
that's
Super
why we
Eagles.
cannot do without our national heroes, our sporting heroes, the nation Super Eagles, the Super Falcons, and all those who represent us at the international level. So we thank you, Super Eagles, for that moment of unity, and we're looking forward to more of it.
So, hey, so we'll take a break. We'll bring you the dailies in just a moment. Please stay with us.